Hello everybody, in this video I would like to show you how you implement the guest portion when you are using SDA deployment. This is a lab, right? I saw that this is one of the ways that you can implement guests. Basically you have two options, but in this case what we are going to use is create a control plane node dedicated for guests, so you can use this specific device only for guest traffic, right? So I'm using EVNG for this lab. I'm also using the CAT9KV, the virtual ones. That's how I doing this simulation. In this case, let me explain the lab a little bit. So basically I have a control plane node and border node here, and those are for my corporate traffic, right? Those are dedicated devices for my corporate traffic. In this case, what I'm trying to do is create a specific device. In this case, the CAT8000, the virtual ones, and this can be part of your DMC, right? Because what you want is to create a dedicated device that is going to be used, or a device that you will use for guest traffic only, right? So you have the fabric edge devices. These fabric edge devices will have all the BRF for guests, right? And also it's going to have the corporate BRF, right? So what is going to happen here is that the fabric edges will create a VXLAN tunnel from the fabric edge to my dedicated border node, control plane border node that is located in the DMC, for example, right? So in this case, my user in this case, I'm going to use a wire connection because I tried with wireless, but it's not working well. I couldn't really use as example wireless, at least for this lab. So I have this Linux machine. This Linux machine is going to go through the authentication process. It's going to use MAC authentication bypass because what I need is ISE to push the guest portal. So the user will accept the policy, then ISE is going to push the VLAN that is located in this BRF guest, and then the traffic is going to be encapsulated in the VXLAN tunnel to this specific device, the border control plane device. And then, if you can see here, I'll clean this up a bit. I'm gonna capture this traffic, so you will see that the traffic that is coming for this interface is using VXLAN, right? And then it route in this direction without the VXLAN header to reach my DHCP and my DNS to get an IP. So basically the return traffic is going to be through this device, then it's going to use this specific Gigabit Ethernet 3, then it's going to encapsulate the traffic and it's going to use the VXLAN tunnel that we have between the fabric edge device and this dedicated control border node, right? So I'm gonna capture that traffic so you will see that how it works when you have this deployment. Of course, you need to be aware that you need to extend the BRF, and also you need to double check that across all the path you have jumbo frames, right? In this case, it's a lab, it's an EVNG. I cannot enable jumbo frames, right? But you will see how it works, and we will see also some Wireshark captures. So yeah, so also I'm gonna show you the DNA portion, because you need to create in this DNA center, in this version, the one that I'm using, you need to create like a dedicated or a specific site where you are gonna assign this specific device, right? The border control plane node. And then that's the reason why we call guest anchor. You are gonna use that specific VN, or you can assign that VN to different fabric sites. So let's start with the DNA portion. Let me log in one more time here, and let's start with the DNA portion here. Okay, so this is the DNA center, right? So the first things that you need to do is to define the pool that you are gonna use for guests, right? So you go to network settings, IP address pool. This is the one that I'm gonna use, right? Then you need to follow the normal process. And what I mean with normal is that you need to discover, you need to provision, and you need to assign this specific device to a fabric site, right? This fabric site or this virtual network is going to be the one that you will be able to use in different fabric sites. So let's do this. Let me go to a fabric site. As I mentioned, you need to discover the device, you need to provision the device, then you need to create your site and assign this device to that specific site. In this case is the Miami Beach is the one that I create for this device. This is going to be the border node, control plane node for guests, right? This is what I mean. You have the layer 3 BNI, right? In this case it's guests, and this is the Anchor BN that I'm gonna assign to different locations or to different fabric sites, right? I have my Anycast gateway, and this segment will be part of this specific virtual network, right? I enable for wireless this also, and if I go to Brickell, which is a different site, which is this one, the DC50 that I have here, you will see that you are able to add this specific virtual network. And you see the Anchor here, right? And the BNID, and you will see the guest segment that was assigned for this specific virtual network. So that's basically the difference. You have a specific VM that you will be able to use in other fabric sites. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, so I have that. I already have everything about the virtual network, the Anycast gateway. So let me show you the ICE portion, right? Because in this case, let me show you here. In this case, the PC is going to use, or the PC needs to go through the authentication process. So it's going to use MAC authentication bypass for this PC, right? So and ICE is going to push the guest portal as I mentioned before, and the user need to accept the policies to get full access to internet. In this case, it won't get access to internet, right? But but I will show you that policy also. So let me close this. Let me see where is ICE here. Okay, let me open this, connect. Let me show you here the policy. Okay, so I have the wire policy here, and the authorization policy in this case that I'm gonna use is first, I'm gonna use this, the CWA, right? That is going to match this Linux machine. Then I is going to push the guest portal, the URL, and the VLAN, right? Once you accept the policy, then it's going to match this specific policy, and that will provide the full access to internet, right? That's basically what I have as a policy here. Okay, so let's start the testing here. Let me log in to this device or open CLI of this device. Oh, I think I already have it. Yep, let's see if I can put it here. Yep, so SDA admin, the password, and as you can see here, interface gigabit ethernet 014, I think. Okay, the interface is down, and let's do something. Let's start the Wireshark capture. It's going to be gigabit ethernet 1, gigabit 3, and also I'm gonna capture the traffic of this port 14 where the PC is connected. So let's start capture gigabit 1. Okay, so Ethernet. Okay, and let's also capture port 3. Let's see. Okay, that's port 3. And let me move this here. This is port 3. Okay, and also port 14 here. Let's go to port 14 to double check the packets coming from that specific PC. Okay, 14. Okay, good. I'm gonna put this here. Okay, and just to double check here, let's also open ISE so we can see the logs. Let's go here, upper live logs. Okay, this is for my access point. Okay, so let's start the testing here. So first thing, I'm gonna enable that port, and also let me open this PC. Let me connect to this PC. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, so we have ISE, we have the captures running, right? So let's enable this port. Let me call this conft interface gigabit 1014. No shutdown, right? Let's see the authentication process. Show authentication sessions interface gigabit Ethernet 1014 details. Okay, so as you can see here is running .1x. It's going to fail .1x. Later it should move to MAC authentication bypass, and what I'm looking for is the URL. So if you can see here, the MAC authentication bypass authentication success, here you can see the URL that is pushing ISE. Also, something that I didn't mention, I put a specific DACO access list here, so you will see that it's only allowed the traffic to the DHCP, DNS, ISE, DNS, and DHCP, right? And everything else is not allowed. Okay, so that's good. And let's open. This is the PC here. We should be able to redirect to the the web portal to authenticate, or at least accept the policies. It's moving now to web authentication. Let's open this. Okay, probably is going to take some time this, but let's see if we can see something on ISE. What is size here? I think it's not here. Let me close this. Okay, this is ISE. Okay, so you can see here that I have the MAC address, and let's double check that this is the MAC address of this specific PC. So let me open this one. I'm gonna put it here. System fconfig, and this is 0001. That's basically the MAC address of this PC. So let's go back to ISE. You will see that this is the MAC address related to that specific endpoint. You see the authentication profile that was pushed to that specific device. In fact, we have an IP address 33.10, and let's double check the switch. Let's see if we can see something, at least the IP. Okay, now we have the IP address here, which is good, but it's still in this process of authentication. And my guess is that because I haven't really enabled Jumbo Frame across all the path is the reason why it's taking a lot of time. So let's see what is the status here. Okay, as you can see here, now it looks like it's trying, but let's refresh this because I need to accept this specific policy. And something that I didn't mention before is that once you accept this specific policy, you will see that this specific endpoint now will be part of the guest group. So let's go back to policy set. Let's go here. Let's go to authorization policy, and this is the guest endpoint. So basically, once you accept the policy, ICE is going to put that device in this guest endpoint group, right? So let's go to operations, policy, administration is that I think it's ID groups here, and you will see that right now there are not endpoints in this specific group, right? Because I need to accept the policy first. Let's see here what is okay. Let's retry this. It's going to take some time. Unfortunately, I cannot enable jumbo frames. Let's do something here. Let's stop these Wireshark captures, and let's see if we can identify the VXLAN traffic. So as you can see here, and let's first point to DNACv, right? So in this case, the SVI that is assigned to this specific fabric edge device, let's go to show VRF. You will see that is the guest traffic here, and we have the VLAN 1026. So show running interface VLAN 1026. You will see that this is the SVI that is part of this VRF, and all the ACP relay is coming from this specific device. So if I check this port 1, basically we will see that this specific SVI is sending the unicast packet to the DHCP, and as you can see here, we have the VXLAN header, right, that is pointing to this specific VNI. And also, this is the discovery. We can double check that this is the client MAC address, which is related to the endpoint, basically, or the endpoint that we are using for testing. Let's go back to check what is the MAC address of this device to confirm. Okay, so you see this is 00, no, it's this one, 2100, right? This is the MAC address, so we can confirm that, let's go here, that this specific traffic is coming in this way. Let's put it here. It's coming in this way with the VXLAN header, right? And we should be able to see the same packet or the same discovery without the VXLAN header through this interface 3, because this is the way that this specific segment will reach the DHCP and the DNS. So let's confirm that portion. Let's go to this Wireshark capture. Let's go to DHCP here, and here you will see that it's coming from that there is no the VXLAN header is not anymore here. It's a normal IP packet, and that is coming from the SVI, and the destination is to this specific DHCP server. And you will see that the MAC address is still here. This is the client MAC address, right? So with this, we confirm that all the traffic was encapsulated in a packet, and then the same device remove that header and put it in a regular IP packet to reach the DHCP DNS, right? So let me go to the endpoint. Yeah, because this is still not working. It might take some time here, but let me refresh this. Okay, so finally I'm able to see all the policy here, and what I need is to accept the policy, right? So first of all, let's double check the switch, because this should change. Okay, so in this case that it changed. Before there was the DACL here and also the URL, right? And now you can see here, let me try one more time because there's a lot of logs here. That now we just see there is another DACO that basically allowed the internet access only. Let's double check this specific DACO, right? So it basically permit the DHCP, the DNS portion, but deny everything about the private IP addresses, right? And let's go to, okay, as I mentioned before, I not allowing internet access to this PC, but let's see here, you will see that also is matching this specific authorization policy that is matching this profile, and that's the reason why we have this DACO, which is different. And also something that I mentioned is that once you accept the policy, you will see that this specific endpoint now is part of the guest group, right? Guest endpoints, and here you will see that now this specific MAC address is part of this specific group. So with this, we can confirm that it's working. It takes some time for the PC to see the policy, the ICE policy or the guest portal, because I don't really have jumbo frames across all the path. So that's the problem. That's the reason why it's taking some time. But at least with this video, I think I was able to show you how you can implement guest fabric with a dedicated control plane, or that will basically manage all the guest traffic. So in fact, let's go to this specific device, because we should be able to see the endpoint ID and the RLOC of that specific endpoint. Let's SDA admin and then the password, and let me see if I remember. No, show LISP instance ID 41.0 site, so we can see all of them. And you can see here that we have the IP of this specific endpoint, and let's go back to the endpoint. Let's go here, if config, we see that is 33.10, right, which is this one, and this is the RLOC, and basically this is my Fabric Edge device. So run interface loopback 0, right, it's 81. So with that, we confirm that the endpoint ID is only in this specific guest control plane border node, and is not in the border or control node that we use for corporate traffic. So that's what I have. Thanks for watching.